Hello, hello everyone. Oh, we are quite a few. We are 6. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Or, you know, morning, evening, whenever it is for you. Who is here today? Let me just lower the music a bit. Let me have a look. But the first time I'm doing this kind of thing, so I'm checking that things are working properly. That we do a member-only stream, so I'm not really sure how everything works, to be honest, but let's look at it. Let me know if on your end it's okay, if you can hear me. Okay, pretty cool. Seems to be working. Illusion, hey, thank you. Nice to see you there. So you managed to reuse your tokens today, right? Some people tell me they could not, but for me, I could, right? I got my prediction right. So I got the tickets and I can use them again later. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So you made out of 10K, you made 30K, which is pretty cool for the beginning. You know, it starts a bit slow, especially, you know, that's something I realized talking to the French community, because I've made the guide for them this week about gambling, predicting. It's not gambling, it's betting at worst, but and people not participating and not having the rewards for participation, it's a bit more rough for them to empty the shops, but still most of it. So we are quite a few tonight, so thank you very much for being here. This kind of stream is really for you guys. I have nothing to do in the game. We talk about what you want. We review someone's city. We talk about whatever topic you feel like. You know, I just have to be in an hour. I just have a bit above an hour. I just have to be, I'll do the mercenary prestige. Then I'm going to jump for a match. But in the upcoming months, I'll, you know, take a bit more time. It's just that I made a vote for and people selected tonight. And then we got our match, Tundra Armlings match 1 hour later. So that's not the best planning, but that's, you know, that can only improve. So we have a good hour and 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna change live stream and I'm gonna go to do the Tundra Arms League, which should be an easy match. We are against a very strong state, but that they're, you know, they're Legion 2, so there is a big gap in power here. That should be easy. You use 10K tokens at 7 UTC. Yeah, okay, perfect. That's amazing, yeah. That's really cool. And then, you know, you have those 30 tickets for all your predictions. So I'm gonna keep all of my tickets actually, and I'm gonna do like a empty the store, you know, video later, just before I go on holiday or something like that. Perfect, you've done just what you should. That's pretty cool. No, it's one event where we don't need money to make, you know, to buy everything. So that's pretty nice. And at the end of the day, it's not a crazy either, but that's not little. You know, buying everything versus buying half of it. Still a decent amount. We had many people joining since I announced the stream, so thank you very much for that. Quite a few that joined today. Some of you that have been joining for actually quite a while. Thank you very much. So what do we do tonight? What do you guys want to talk about? Is there like a topic you'd like us to do a deep dive on? Like a specific topic about the game? A video you watch that, you know, caused confusion? It could be an IMA as well. Ask me anything if you want to. I'll be deciding what I answer or not, but I'm willing to be quite flexible in things that can be asked as well. So it's really a time for, you know, for all of us to spend some time together, get to know each other. We don't have a match to have something playing in the background and watching something. I think it's not the right time for that, so we can look at Mushroom Land. So you guys let me know. I'm looking forward to the button to do all of that at once, you know? Not having to redo it manually. You know, either you do it the last day and you take the risk of forgetting, or you have to redo it all the time. I would ask about Gero versus Hector. We had Gen 5 2 weeks ago. I have Gero 4 stars, mark widgets. No widgets. I know widget does so much better. So your Hector is doing far better than your Geronimo for what? For bear? But I can check actually if we have some... But I checked that, you know, early January when I came back from, like, you know, kind of Christmas holidays. And people were saying that Hector, Geronimo is far better, but you seems to be telling something. I tried 12 Polar Terror rallies with Hector and I get half injured in comparison. I mean, you have a lot more infantry stats, right? That is defensive on Hector as well, so that's one thing to consider. That could be the... That could be the difference. It is more than Geronimo. So what I'm reading right now, like people talking about it yesterday on Most Nerds, is like their conclusion seems to be that overall Hector is spiking a lot more than Geronimo. But, you know, if you would rally bear 1,000 times, you will get slightly better result on your Geronimo. And that's, you know, assuming that the fact that Geronimo is better, it really makes sense about the spike and that skill, you know. 25% chance to double damage. That could, you know, that could vary the outcome a lot. So you get. So that's yeah. What ratio do you use? That could play a role eventually. That's only one dude. Why engine is better than Geronimo? Geronimo. But that's someone commenting on it. It's not like proper testing. That's one of the guys, you know. That's Morse, M-O-R-S on WoSnerd. He's very, very active. He's not part of the WoSnerd's admin group, but he's very, very active and following what's up here a lot. Yeah, so you don't really use a lot of infantry, so that's... Okay, so that's a bit more interesting, maybe. Trying to see if that's, you know, relevant to you. Bear Trap Squad through Gen 7, order is 0, 3. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if it's a big deal because it really seemed that it's not a big difference. If you did enough rallies, you should have your Geronimo a bit higher than your Hector in average, but your Hector might be a bit more like, because of the 25% skill, might be a bit more swinging, let's say, spiking when it comes to low and high ones. But, you know, but that's what I don't like to do bear testing, is because it takes so many rallies to know. And there are so many factors, you know, the joiners that you don't control. I mean, even Mia, you know, like when you are using Geronimo or Hector, you have Mia that's 50% chance on that skill. I mean, this one is pretty high. It's you know, nearly 90% chance, so that's all good. That's reliable, but that's not. So if you have a 25% kill plus a 50% skill, you need a very, you know, a big amount of rallies to get any sensible data. But what I can find quickly is that still Geronimo should be a bit more, a bit above, basically, if you do enough rallies. What's better for bear? Someone is at, oh, that's the opposite of you. Geronimo no widget and Hector 5-star. So people are 100% Hector in that case. So that's not what you have. Yeah, I do not find like something a bit more concrete for that easily. I wish I had Geronimo to test, but that's a bit tough to do. Anyhow. So that's how people, like I would have hoped to find such a test, right? It's like just Geronimo and just Hector. You know, like 5,000 troops on bear trap, but you know, who has a farm or who want to throw their bears from their main with a Geronimo. to do some testing, right? Testing on Geronimo is on bear is like you have to kind of use no marksman hero, no lancer hero, use T5 troops, and so you're gonna waste bear reward. So not many people are willing to do that. That's a bit of the issue with it. Like Hector, you can find many farms with Hector to do some proper testing. But all the latest conversation about Geronimo has nothing to do with bear. I mostly see the same dude commenting on that. So but I know it was talked about a lot, but it was a bit earlier than that. But I'm in 25 now with the search, so that should pop in a bit more. So how do Geronimo compare to Hector after the change? And the guy is called Virgil, and who is answering to Virgil? Not many people. So that's what the question we cared to answer. Yeah, so beyond that, I cannot find like probably with other keywords. But yeah, proper testing is a bit is really a pain, to be honest. That's something I hope. I don't know how they're gonna allow us to do proper testing one day. I really don't know. I'm just checking that it's 2 hours, right? Compared to UTC. So our match is not now. Yeah, it's in 1 hour from now. It's 19 UTC. Yeah, start in 1 hour. Fair enough that I'm not missing that. So I don't know if it's helping. What other keywords could I use? Unless we go into the bear trap conversations, but I'm not sure. Let's do bear discussion. In bear discussion, Geronimo. Yep. Time to revive the church from some good old Hector's magic. So what is his conclusion? What can you try? I mean, what will be the best if you don't do bear? You will need to test with another account, right? I don't know if the amount of injured troops or things like that, will be relevant in the sense that bear don't have life and troops have life. So I don't know if if you do like a PvP test and like using no hero on the account you attack, something like that. Just a lot of maybe just a lot of infantry that you attack with like 10,000 and your bear ratio. So like 500, 1,500, and 800, 8,000 marksmen, something like that. and you attack, you know, a lot of infantry. Kind of simulate the bear. They're gonna strike back, but as little as possible, I guess. But you kind of need two accounts set up properly for that. And I don't know if it's Code of Health. I don't know if it's not messing up things. That's data for what? Nothing Flint S1. That's about Flint, so that we don't care. Increase 11%. So what is that per round? Checking the new skill of Hector on bear, but that's not a comparison with Geronimo at all, and the rest is too old for that. Thanks for the heart. Thank you. So we are looking at Geronimo versus Hector for bear. And as always, when you look at these things, you know, unless you type the exact right keyword on Wosners to fall on the test you want, it's never, it's not never, but it's not always an easy find. If you did not bookmark a conversation that you wanted. Because what I've seen is like, you know, even later, like some of the viewers commenting today, even on Discord about like, you know, later gens, like most people are still using Geronimo if they have him, so. Let me know how it goes for your test if you could have any success with it. That was actually a very recent conversation. Let me look at these long posts. Who can be calculated for Geronimo close? You're doing auto and 10 attack with Hector, 10 with Geronimo. I think if I get some average on them, I might. Yeah, I'm just very unsure about the health part, you know, and the defensive stats, but how they impact that. The calculator, they updated, like after Rosarian, they actually updated their calculator on Wosnerds about bear. That was on the 14th of February. Oh, I didn't know he was a nerd. E11 HR is often answering questions for us on our Discord, but he's part of the nerds and means actually. That's pretty cool. And part of the nerd crew. I'm answering a quick question and we're good. So yeah, I'm not too sure what to say beyond that. I mean, I'm curious about the auto ends. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just don't understand like the stats enough to be sure that this will be relevant for the part. Really not the damage. Of course, like if you have less, because the big issue I see is really that that Hector is giving your infantry a lot more defense, which means a lot more injured troops, right? So I'm really, yeah, we should have a, that would be good if we have like a dummy, right? In other games like in Diablo, and I don't know which game you guys are playing, but some games you have a dummy that you can just punch, you know? That does not punch back, and you can test things and it shows the amount of damage you do. So that could be that the easiest way they gave us to do proper testing, offensively at least. Defensively, it's like maybe the opposite. You kind of need to be punched by someone. But that would be, even if it's a temporary event, that would be amazing if we could just launch rally at a dummy, like Rosarian, but without reward, or like Bear. And we don't have a limit of like 4 attacks a day, so. Yeah, you play Diablo 4? So you know that. You know it works. Actually looking forward for the expansion next month. But I'm barely playing this season. I mean, you know, I did my Paragon to 50, so I played a bit, but got boring quite quickly at that stage. Kind of waiting for the expansion more than playing that season. Just want to finish my season journey. I have a few things I want to do there. But you know, like a dummy room would be nice, right? You can just go and test. What I can ask about that? I looked one last time. I remember vaguely a conversation about that. But that seems to be not a bear conversation. That's something I want to keep. That's a random find, but that's kind of explaining why the 4% Lancers are so important in the 48-448. That's gonna go right into that guide. That's very valuable to keep. So that's I've been asking that. Yeah, people ask me that a lot. Copy message link. Perfect. I mean, that's thing I've been asking a bit more, I guess. Sometimes CMs like ask us, you know, for feedback we have. So I'll try to share what I can, you know. Don't know if it's gonna do anything, but all I can do is, you know, share it. So what else can we look at? If someone, you know, wants feedback on their cities, on their gear, on a report, again, anything you guys want. I'm here for you tonight, so still have nearly an hour. We are 45-ish for the time for me to move to the stream. I need to restart to put a delay on the stream for the other one. So, you know, I don't think it's really needed, but I prefer to have it. You know, will be crazy to lose the first match. I'm curious about the new seasonal events. I don't think we see the skins yet. I wanted to see the skin in game, but today I could not see them earlier, so they are not there yet, so probably tomorrow. But I'm really curious about how good is the new seasonal events with kind of the board to complete and the, you know, the line and the columns reward. It seems that the floor is yours, Illusion, so if there's anything else you want to go about. So, like, there are a few viewers as well, but, you know, I think many people are trying to view and they are not members, so they cannot really join because there are like 24 viewers and 8 members. So there is a number that's not matching. But, you know, I'm happy if you want to look at your city or anything, you know, that you do in game that you want feedback on, you know, that's a good moment. My city is average. I mean, you know, sometimes that I got question, you know, people have like a charms level 2 and, you know, blue gear and they're like, what should I do, you know? Some people could be very worried about their, you know, doing the right things. Hello, Aya. Welcome. Aya, Abdel, I'm not sure. Abdel Rahman, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you have any question. You know, this time is for you guys, so whatever you want to do, we do. I mean, most of the things you want to do, we do. Whatever, I'm not sure, but I still have a say, I guess. Let's get these bags for later. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. You wanted your city to be reviewed. Send me something. Or you send me a video. Can I... Let me just... Let me look at your city. So you send me your heroes. So you have Flynn 5 stars, Alonso 4 stars, Mia 4 and 4.3, Geronimo 4, Molly maxed, Alonso 4 stars. So that's look all good. You get your things in order for the rest. I mean, I don't know if you push on the SV on a Olaf Chief or something, but you got Philly 3 stars, so some possible some shard wasted here a bit. I don't know why. Deanman 4 star, that's all good. I mean, all of that looks okay for heroes. You have a good lineup for Arena, good lineup for Bear. That's pretty solid. The only outstanding is like why Philly 3, but so you are clearly playing marksman. Clearly focus on your marksman. That's okay. That's really okay. I mean, Hero Rise, it looks okay, right? When you do Bear, you have to put your base gear on... you have to put your base gear on Alonso, that's it, because Greg is going to be a lot worse. Did not see all the widgets, but they are probably not very high, and that's really okay at that stage of the game. I would not stress about my widgets. If there are two, you know, you're happy with it. You can do widgets a bit more when you have Agnes, basically, right? For me, if you look at my, you know, earlier gen heroes, all of them are widget 2, and that's, you know, that's, I'm gonna do Molly with all of heroes. That's something you guys can consider if you play marksman and you want to, if you are defending some rallies sometimes. Now that I finish Mia, I'm gonna do Molly. So then, you know, I have a garrison leader in defense for a marksman playstyle. I mean, technically, I could use Freya. She's quite okay. She's buffing all troops, so... You got her shot from KOI. I mean, that's okay. Philly, she's... you're gonna get her 4 stars eventually. That's not wasted then. That's pretty good. But for your heroes, what I deduct, right, from what you send me, my conclusion, I don't know if it's a big word, right, but it's like you are clearly focusing on your marksman. You clearly want to do more damage. I don't know if it's for Bear or it's for playing like 48 for 48. But you have a clear push here, which, you know, add a rally joiner. If you don't, if you're not meaning to do rally leader, that's really okay to do. 08, Alondo 6, Mia 6. Yeah, that's very high already. But for me, the way you build your account is really to do rally joiner and damage with marksman. So far, at least. You know, which at the beginning you can always... just hopping on your infantry gear. Oh no, I did not see your infantry gear was that good. Okay, it's pretty good. I mean, you probably spend a bit. Yeah, your infantry gear is quite better than your marksman, so that's fair enough. So you know, if you would be defending like a, you know, a building in foundry, maybe taking a turret. I don't know if you can take turrets. It's really depending on the level of spending on your states. You're probably not the first rally leader, but you might not be the, you know, you might be useful depending a bit on how much they spend on your states. But that's all okay for now at that stage of the game. That's really okay. And you've done, let me check, but I think you've done the right side on the infantry. Yeah, you got the 30 defense here. So no, for now it's all good. It's all good for what you've done. No mistakes on my side, you know. It seems to know what you do. Will you play like marksman, or you want to balance eventually your lancers, catch your lancer up eventually, or? No problem. We still have like a good 35 minutes. So if you do 10, 15, that's perfect. We can look at it before I swap over. Oh, I've done my command center today. Let's do a bit of that. So anything else that you guys want to look at? That's pretty lucky. I already need some tomes, some of the books, so that's pretty good. That was quick. Something maybe some of you did not follow, that might be worth considering, but that's really expensive. Is that Rone is actually quite stronger now. I mean, that's a really worth it, right? So I can get one extra box. Let me look at... But I could do it tomorrow. It could be worth it tomorrow. Oh, we are winning. We are smashing them a bit. Yeah, we don't really have much people pushing, actually. Are these people, we will fight them in Tundra? EP1? They are State Southern. Wow, that's one of the crazy alliance from State Southern. So they might just push at reset, you know? They're only 80. I mean, they probably have people in Tundra Armlings. That's probably why as well they are not really doing that well in the showdown, I guess. Let's keep it for tomorrow. Wow, this one is insane. This one is really insane to level up in terms of XP. Burning speed ups. The current debate for Shalili is whether to go for T11 troops or F6, F8, Fire Crystal 6 or 8. We just got War Academy at reset. For me, there are a few things to take into account. So you're not gonna have FC6 for a little while, but it's gonna be soon enough, right? So first of all is resources. I think that's something people should consider. T11 are very resources hungry. So, you know, if I would not go for T11 if I don't have at least 5 billion of meat, 5 billion of wood, eventually a farm, right? The issue I have with T11 is it costs as much to do all the T11 than it costs to do FC8. I mean, FC8 is slightly more Fire Crystal, if I remember from the top of my head. But FC8 is quite stronger, right? It's quite stronger than FC5, T11. In terms of troops, it works in a way that they are quite stronger. So that's one thing. The second thing is like, yeah. Sorry for the pop of the chair. FC8 are not costing anything more. I mean, they are not really costing anything more. T11 are costing a lot. And for me, the big drawback is to push your T11, you're gonna need to use a shit ton of research speedups. And for most of us, these are far better invested at that stage of the game here still. So if you go for FC8, I'm assuming free to play, and then spenders is like there is a lot of nuance to it. But at the free to play, very low spenders, you know, you could get a lot of stats for yourself here with the speed ups you're gonna need here, and that speed ups that you could avoid spending because you can just go slowly and research one by one. So that's, you know, they are not mandatory to be used, let's say. And you get overall stronger stat and stronger troops, and you just delay your power by waiting for FC6, FC7. You know, it could be totally an option to do one T11, especially if you spend a bit. You know, if you can afford like the monthly card, for example, the weekly card. So that's really, really good. Yours might be not as good, but you can compare with the commission. I think they might be very close for you actually. We are spenders, not words at all, but medium spenders. But do you plan to speed up your T11 with the commission, which is 12 a week, and or the weekly card? You have to compare which one is the best. For me, this one is the best, but I think that's only available when you are Fire Crystal 6 with that percentage. For people that just got the War Academy, I don't remember which one is the best, but they probably are very close, unless this one is like 4,000%. And then the commission is like, you know, 4.5, and that's mostly, there is no waste here, right? It's mostly these, right? So if you are willing to buy some of that, which is up to, you know, $15 a week, which is not a small budget, that's 60 a month, you can get one T11 very quick. So you could do like, say, okay, I'm gonna rush one T11. With these, it's gonna be a bit of a budget. Then I'm keeping some of my Fire Crystal so I can push toward Fire Crystal 6, 7. They are a lot cheaper. And then, you know, you kind of do both at once if you spend, right? Our weekly, so that might be, you know, you kind of, it's not that bad to calculate. You know, you divide the amount of Fire Crystal shard you get per the amount of dollar it costs. And you do the same here, and you know which one is the best. But if it's for 4,100, I'm assuming it's a bit worse, you know? It might be slightly worse than the commission. So it's like commission until Gen 6 is better. And then the Fire Weekly, as soon as this one is 5,000, it's quite a bit better. And it's a bit less of a commitment financially, right? It's like 5 a week instead of 10 a week. But if you do both, you know, you kind of really speed up things, but that's a bit of a budget. So for medium spender, I will consider like a track where you do both in parallel and not. I mean, one other consideration is resources as well, especially if you consider doing 2 of them quite quickly. Is your resources, like I said. The other thing you could consider, and if you care a lot about that, and that's really a personal thing, is like, do you like to burn and make points on battle day? If so, having T11 and being lower furnace is far better, right? Because you have far more targets to burn than being FC8. If you rush FC8, because you spend, you're gonna be dry for burning people that give you points for a few months. Is that a big deal? It really depends on, you know, if you care about it or not. That's all the things I'll consider. Do you have a farm and do you have resources? For me, I transferred a lot, so I lost a lot of resources by transferring, but I transferred with my farm, so that could, you know, I could make it up. But if you look at my resources and you regularly check the live streams, you can see that my resources is going down on, and I sometimes use my farms. So yeah, 3 troop types is very, very rough. Or maybe your commission pack is worst as well? I mean, whichever is the highest percentage is the best in that case. So yeah, mine is quite better. And I think that increases Fire Crystal 6. Or you are Fire Crystal 6 Illusion? What did you say you are? Yeah, so these packs get a lot better with time. Yeah, so that would be, yeah. That would be actually, if one of you can send me the screenshots, like with all the details, what you get. Because you get that plus all of that, right? Because I need to make the calculation about how much time it takes for like people spending, you know, with these lower packs when unlocking. Because I made the calculation for max packs, how fast you can get T11. You cannot see. I mean, then if you're probably like illusion, right? It's probably like below 4,000. So the weekly card might still be the best, and that's a weaker, weaker. That's a smaller commitment, so it might work for you. I don't buy it anymore, because if we have T12, you know, I'm expecting that's gonna go up. So if we have T12, I'll rather buy it after to save a bit, you know. But I did bought it for 3-4 months, I think. That's yeah, that's a bit of a budget. We have the gear, we have what? That's our friend Black Knight that sent me again the video. That the camp FT3, all your building are FT3. Do you guys hear the Discord pings? I guess you do. I need to see what can I do about it. I mean, it's all in order, Black Knight. It's really all in order for... And I don't know how much you spend, but yeah, it's all in order. Just you know, keep doing what you're doing. If you want to catch up your Lancers on gear, hero gear, that's okay for now. Then if you decide to play 2 troops, you can, you know. I would still suggest, you know, to do like a golden gear and charms around where you are, 4 or 5. No matter, even if you ditch Lancers later or whatever, still do that. I still suggest to go there, and that's what you do. So no, it's and you are El Presidente, I see. That's you know, I mean, to me it looks good. I don't know if you have some particular doubts or things that you are already questioning you should do or don't. That looks all good. I don't know if I actually can I... That's what I'm looking at. So... That's Easy Rose I was looking at. So you can see Flint, Greg, Mia, Geronimo. Let me know if it's not okay to show, but you know, we are like just a few people. That's all okay. Have the buildings and stuff, but that's all fair. So that's FC3 everywhere. But you know, where you are, it's where what you can get. Then that Shift Gear and Shift Charm. Again, that's all okay. It's like, if you want more bear damage and play offensively, you can do marksman. If you want to be more effective at burning cities, you can do infantry and marksman. But, you know. You get a bit of gems, I see. In regular amount of speed ups. Gear. I mean, the gear looks good to me. Like, you have the right piece, and then the question is like, what do you want to do with your lancers? That's you can either leave them behind and play marksman, or you know, do them later as well. Both options are very okay. Thanks, Illusion, I got it. Yeah, it seems to be what, compared to me, it's what, 25% less? So for you, it's like a 33% increase from where you are. That's what they've done, something like that. I want commission. Where do you see commission? That's here. So they doubled the fire, the steel. And the fire crystal is like 30, it's like a third more for me than you. Cool. Thank you. I need to remember that, to go back to that and make some calculation about it. Yeah, so you could totally play, like, if you are 7 in Labyrinth, you could totally play, you know, rally garrison leader in defense, right? How do I send you screenshots? Discord. Yeah, you on the Discord, Shalili? That's usually what people do for screenshots and videos. And then reports, it's better in game. If it's report, it's far better in game. So I can, you know, can go through all the aspects of the reports. Like, you can just send me a private message on Discord. I'm not, I'm always hiding on Discord. Found it cool. Oh, that's you, I see you. Yeah, so you guys have the same packs. You're probably very close. So for me, like Illusion, but you do you, right? If I were you, I will consider already playing marksman, you know? I already do consider playing marksman. Unless you care to burn cities a lot, and then, you know, you want to balance your troops to have options, because lancers are really good to burn cities, so. I would send, I mean, you can always let me know, you know, Illusion. Like, that you don't want them to see, you know, people to see. But tell me before you send the reports. Some people send the reports and they're like, you know, please don't show. And it's like, kind of already being shown. But I can't wait. I mean, that's mostly happened when people send me a lot of reports. That was Tar the other day, right? And he sent me a million reports that we always looked at. And then there was one he did not wanted us to look at. So, you know. But I don't think that's a drama either. So let's say, you know, there are 13 minutes. So you have a time to close the stream and to restart it. But it's really like, you know, I'm here for you. So if you want to look at some of fighting reports and have an idea about, you know, what's happening or what should you do, that's really okay. And you know, the smaller, you know, at some point, I don't know if that's gonna be true, but you know, I don't know how popular can Whiteout be on you know, on streaming on YouTube. So, but it could be that the main streams that, you know, are a bit harder to get time for everyone individually, right? If people have, you know, need an account review, or if you want to explore like a topic that's dear to you in particular and things like that. So, you know, when the streams are quiet, I really don't mind doing, you know, whatever people want. You know, I'm doing these live streams to be with you, but at some point, if the bigger streams become more busy, you know, these times could be as well an option to really go deeper on things you want and have more time just for you. You know, it's I have more and more people asking me to help them with this and that, and it's not always easy to spend a lot of time doing so. What's your philosophy on saving for SVS? We are considering saving for the one in May and just doing minimum spending for April. I transfer to a new state that is rebuilding. I think overall, you know, for most states, it makes sense to save at the state for SVS. It makes matchmaking quite better. I don't think they adjusted that in the matchmaking, you know, that they changed matchmaking last patch, but I don't think they removed the fact that saving things in your bag is, you know, is working. So by default, I will kind of suggest it and encourage it. Then, you know, there are a lot of things to take into account. It's not, you know, free to play. They're gonna have a very, very hard time to get any rewards. So, you know, are you the kind of free-to-play or low spender that are not, you know, that are happy to not get rewards? Because if you push every SVS or every other SVS, you're never gonna rank versus the whales if the whales are serving for that long as well. So it's a personal choice for that, but that could be a bit of a challenge. Many people are not happy with not being able to rank after saving 2 or 3 months. But for a state, it makes sense. You know, it creates a lot of how do you say, momentum, I guess, on the states. You have a goal, you go somewhere, you have an enemy, which is like the SVS opponent, which else if you don't have an enemy, you know what they say. If you have a common enemy, we are all allies, right? If there is like a threat to someone's country, then, you know, the neighbors are here to help you fight the enemy, right? That's kind of what happened in Whiteout, right? If you have a common enemy, then, you know, you can work at the states. If you don't have a common enemy, then the other alliance is the problem. You know, whatever we do in life, we do in game often. So I think that's giving a good like direction and focus on the states and try to work together instead of like fighting for every little thing. But it causes a lot of issues, you know, who get the SVS stars. You know, that could be pretty... It really depends. But if you tend to have unfair matchmaking somehow, or if you are like very weak in prep phase, it might be worth doing what you do, like saving for every other prep phase. That could be a strategy. For us, we do push every prep phase, but, you know, we try to assess as quickly as possible if we lost. So if we really think we lost, you know, we just save for next one, especially on farm, secondary accounts, like things like that, right? People that want to rank on their mains for reward, they keep pushing. Can we see some more alliance you are facing? Yes, so, I mean, it really depends. So we are group 4. So we ranked 4 in power. So we are facing 61, right? If I remember properly. So that's a very strong state, but that's their Legion 2. So they barely have any whales. It's gonna be probably a no match, right? They probably barely have any wells and things like that. Then we fight Dar, which is as well a very strong alliance. I don't know if that they are Legion 1 or 2. They are very, very strong whales. But I mean that's another 955. So they managed to register 3 alliances actually. For the third alliances in ranking. See, that's 955, 959, sorry. So they managed to rank 1 alliances in the top 3. So we were forced basically just behind them. And then they had another one here, and they have another one here. But you know, they have their power so spread on 2 alliances that they're not gonna do anything, right? They're gonna play a match and be eliminated and play Foundry next week. It's just for a reward they do that. But Dar is a very strong alliances, but their power is, I mean, it looks similar to us, right? Even higher, but they played with 38 people. So we should be, you know, we should be quite comfortable, but it's still a strong state. They have max player, so that might not be the easiest match. Depending if they're ready like their State Legion 1. If some of that their State Legion 1, it might not be such an easy match, to be honest. These are very strong. And then we will face some of these. I don't really know them, to be honest, for these. I don't know. They seems to be very low power. I mean, these guys were clearly winning. And let me look at bracket 4. How, you know, where is the Tundra Arm League? So Group D. So these are 29. Dar, they are 29 in power, and SVS were 36. So you know we were 4, so that's a big difference. And here, so these guys have been 13. 920 in power, and WTF were ranked 17 in power. So that's still quite far from us. So that should not be too much of a challenge. The main issue for us is really, you know, even if they are a lot weaker than us with all their team, let's say that is their main alliance and they have 3 max whales with eventually, like, you know, second gear on the max whales. Like, it's a bit of an issue for us because we don't have many max wells. We have 2 that are very close to being max, so I don't think it's as much of an issue that it used to be. But for us, like, maxed well used to be a really big issue for Foundry. And I think it's less than before, but we need to see. So I'm quite comfortable with that. Yeah, but we need to see how much, you know, how much we get today when we got 38 people in. So we'll see. That might be an interesting match. Might not be the most boring one. Last time the first 3 matches were really boring. Like, they made barely any points. But now we know, you know, we faced them in SVS. I think we won. Last time we faced them in SVS, I'm not sure. I think we defend our castle. Or we took theirs. I don't remember. That was a while back. Oh, they won. So I might be wrong. They won last time we fought. But that's a long time ago. Our state changed a lot. But not too long ago, they took our castle. That was slowly after merger. So that might have... Did we add another one if I go on 926? Did we took a revenge and stole their castle? Wow, they fought 855. Wow. Good luck with that. No, I was misremembering. We did not steal their castle, they stole our castle. So they won prep and battle, so yeah. So they are pretty strong. So that could be a very interesting match, yeah. And somehow they are quite weaker than us in terms of power when it comes to the power they had for registration. So we'll see how it goes. But that might not be here. Here I don't know this team, so I don't know if they play well. Shalidi, like the only thing I'm trying to think about your question a bit more. Like deciding in advance if you push or not, is that the best? You know, you could always have that in the back of your mind at the stage. You say, okay, by default, we pass this prep phase and next time we push. But what if you have a very easy prep phase, right? What if you have an opponent that you really feel you have a very good chance at winning? Like I will leave a room to change my mind on it, you know, and not be disappointed if you lose. But, you know, like have people be clear, oh, I need to... That's why I'm here. Then we're gonna swap alliance and then I'm gonna go on Discord and look at what's going on. That's the level 4, so that's pretty good. But everyone is there. How do we determine that? We've considered moving the statewide construction buff to... Yeah, that's an option. That's actually not a bad idea, you know? It's actually not a bad idea. It's mostly like looking, you know, you make a city on their states, you look at their ranking, you look at their castle, if they, you know, often have their castle stolen, and it's, you know, do you know the neighbors? Somehow we have people that always know the neighbors. I don't know the neighbors, but somehow we have people that always know the neighbors. So they know if they are good at prep, you know, what the average score they've done. You can talk to the previous state they fought and be like, you know, how much point they make in prep phase, and they're like, oh, they made 5 billion, and you're like, okay, we never make 5 billion, so, you know, we make 2.5, so let's not fight with them. Like things like that you can use. I have 2 tech until G11. I will not push for Helio. There were some tables on Discord. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So guys, I'm gonna finish that. So maybe, do we summon the other one? We summon the other one. Let's summon it. And then let's... And then, you know, I'll cut the stream. I'll see you in 2 minutes on the other one. I'm gonna, you know, let it run for 1 minute so people have the time to join. But I need to do Foundry in 5 minutes from now, so... So we'll do next... So I'm going in holiday. Sunday I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks, so I'll be back in like 2 weeks from now. When I'm back, I'll make a poll. We do around like the 20th to the 30th of the month. We're gonna do another of these live stream, and I will try to pick somewhere where I have 2 or 3 hours at least, probably 3 or 4. So, you know, we can do city reviews, we can do AMA, ask me anything, whatever you want. Thank you very much for the support. It's really cool, really appreciate it. Don't, you know, don't stress yourself to keep it running if you cannot, or whatever is the reason. That's really okay as well. You know, it's I have a regular job, but that's really helpful. So thank you very much. Thank you for the company and the question. And, you know, if you want, we can have a team as well about something else. If we want to do a deep dive on joiners, or, you know, rally leading or whatever, you know, that's very welcome. So feel free to send me what you want in advance as well. If you want a city review, send me, you know, some videos, screenshot and shit. So, and I'll see you in 2 minutes on the regular stream. And good evening, good day if you know, if you are not watching the Tundra Armlings. See you there.